Well, hello everyone and welcome back to another video of the F1 2020 Driver Career Mode with Alpine, episode number 51 today for the Dutch Grand Prix Season 4, round number 3. If you've missed the two previous videos, then I recommend you go and check them out. You can also now download the mod, the entire mod for this car and team. There will be a link to Race Department in the description below as well, so make sure you go and check it out and subscribe if you are new as well. But anyway, first of all, we've got an invitation event, and that means we have to go back to Vietnam, even though it's a track that I haven't actually been at. I've been purposely not going here because there's no point me gaining that momentum there, but we passed anyway. All we had to do is, it was only a time attack. It's not like the ridiculous one where all of a sudden the AI have about 10 seconds worth of pace, so you can't actually catch them as well. But the R&D then is going well. We're currently on the upgrading parts of the Sashi side. That tyre wear upgrade is up. I've sort of got a little bit of a vengeance against that major weight redistribution upgrade that's there, which is why we've done the two minors instead, because the last time we put that on the car felt dreadful. So I'm thinking it's a bad omen that we shouldn't do it. And not only that, it means we get to upgrade the brakes and potentially a little bit of tyre wear. I know it's 25% career mode, but at the same time, I'm hoping that's going to help with some tyre heating, because let's be honest, the tyres do overheat, especially as you'll find out later around here at Zandvoort. So even on 25% race, especially as it's going to be raining on Sunday as well. It's going to be a wet to dry race. Looks like it's going to be intermediates, but still it's going to be tough, because the player is always at a disadvantage in the rain on this year's game. Moving though to the R&D, we've sort of got now a little bit of a gap to McLaren forming, but we're still quite a bit of a way off AlphaTauri and Ferrari, and AlphaTauri have both caught Racing Point, who have not lived up to having the third fastest car on the grid. Maybe that partnering of Stroll and Zhou hasn't gone well so far in the opening two races, but maybe Zandvoort will be the chance for them to improve and show that they have the car to be able to perform, and for basically the third fastest car on the grid. Yes, let's move then into qualifying, which will be dry, so we'll be running a dry setup. We're not going to take the chances that we had. Can't remember which race it was we've had recently where we ran a wet setup and it went to dry. I think it was the end of season 3 in drive career mode. But anyway, this is the problem was with qualifying. I set my fastest lap on the first attempt. Like the first time we get that, and this is usually like the banker for me. Usually I get quicker. Sometimes I improve like a little bit on the second. I always do like to do 2 flying laps on the first set of tyres, and then obviously go for 1 flying lap on the second set of tyres, regardless if it's just this short qualifying format or all 3 qualifying formats. Obviously if I'm miles ahead in Q1 then I don't do it. But yes, we went out again, and you can see here on the second flying lap the tyres, the front left overheated, which is why we lost. And the third flying lap, which we did at the end of the session on a new set of tyres, we just did not improve. I mean, we might be able to improve here. No, we're not improving, and even if we do improve, we've finally gone green. No, we've lost the green bit. Oh no, it's back again, and then we've lost it again. Doesn't matter anyway, it wouldn't be for moving. So it's going to be pathetic 16th place. Again, the tyres are just overheating. They just got no performance on the soft iron compound whatsoever. Our team Ocon as well is struggling. It's 3/10 to Ocon, which is probably the closest we've been to him again. So we're getting closer. Let's see what we can do. It's time for the race.
For years, the passionate Dutch fans have been easy to find trackside at races across Europe and throughout the world. Now, at long last, they have a Grand Prix to call their own. It's a warm welcome once again to all of our viewers in the Netherlands and around the globe as we get underway for the Dutch Grand Prix. 2.6 miles then make up a lap here at a wet Zandvoort circuit where some tricky braking zones and sudden drops can make it all too easy to slide off into the gravel. There are 14 corners overall and a 678 metre main straight, providing the best chance for overtaking. Joining me for the Grand Prix once again is Anthony Davidson. Let's talk about Renault. We have a number of changes to the aerodynamic regulations this year and some haven't looked good for them so far in terms of getting to grips with those changes.
It doesn't look promising for them so far. And if the new regs have hit them as hard as we think, well, I suspect they may need a few late nights at the factory to get back on track.
It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Young superstar Max Verstappen starts from pole position, just edging out Alexander Albon, who'll start from P2. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Hamilton, Bottas, Charles Leclerc and Gasly, Stroll, Sainz, Vettel and Guan Yu Zhou, Norris, Ocon, George Russell and De Vries. Magnussen, they'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. And a Renault, Antonio Giovinazzi and Nobuharu Matsushita, Kvyat and Nicholas Latifi. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out. Then let's see who can prevail today.
After the points finish last race, let's aim to keep the momentum going.
I mean, no. Well, we need a little bit of help, I'm not going to lie. We need the dry pace to get points, but anyway, we'll have to wait and see. 5 lights come on, and away we go for the Dutch Grand Prix, and as usual in the rain, it's an absolutely terrible start. We've lost, well, it's not as bad as in the very wet that we had in Australia, but still, we've died it down the inside of one of the Haas cars. I think it's De Vries. We're going to go around the outside of Ocon. We've had to take avoiding action because we've gone on the grass as well. We've had to come back on. Norris has fortunately given us a space. We're going to have to squeeze Norris out here in order to be able to retain the position. So a little bit iffy there. We had to take a little bit of curbing into the carousel section, which is not where we want to be, and then we also got the better traction out of the carousel section. And although Norris might be coming back at us out of the carousel section, and there's the contact with Norris and Ocon. He gets a tank slapper, and Ocon is just an innocent bystander, and it's just unlucky there. He gets on the grass and puts Ocon into the carousel, and Ocon comes back on track and then says, "Nah, I've had enough. I'm retiring." So Ocon is out. The safety car has come out with Max Verstappen still in the lead. I mean, this is season 4 now. He's won the opening 2 rounds already. It's a Red Bull 1-2 as well, so Red Bull going strong, showing their pace compared today instead of Mercedes, who have challenged at some times, but don't have anything to answer. There's Ferraris and AlphaTauris and the racing points, but Sainz is getting a little bit slow out of the final corner. We're going to have a go at the McLaren driver down the inside. It's a double dive bomb actually down the inside of Guan Yu Zhou in the racing point and up into P9. In actual fact, out of the carousel, Stroll has a little bit of a moment, and we get him with the rich mix and ERS as well, and Zhou now has been right behind his teammate in the racing point. As unfortunately, as we jump to lap 9, we were starting to get away from Stroll, but through this middle sector, I absolutely hate these series of corners. They're just pain. You can see that Vettel is 6.5 seconds up. The tyres are going off the cliff, DRS has been enabled, and we're just going to come in at the end of lap 9 anyway. I thought it was getting dry enough anyway, because obviously this is the game, not like real life, where the dry. I feel like in the game the wet to dry period is a little bit. You can change onto a set of dry tyres earlier than you can do in real life, I think, in game. But yes, we've come out in last place, but obviously we're the only person to make our pit stop. We've onto a set of mediums. I don't trust the softs because I think they're going to lose tyre. I think they're going to burn up. We set the fastest lap of the Grand Prix of 1:18.4, though I'm sure the likes of Verstappen and the Mercedes will be able to do that. As we jump to lap 15, Guan Yu Zhou, the Dutch Grand Prix is coming to an end. Racing Point haven't scored any points. In actual fact, they're going to be racing pointless. The safety car, though, came in before we could catch up to him. And Sainz and Magnussen have both slowed down to the delta time, even though there is no delta time. So we've caught up to the Vettel and Gasly, who are only just on the back of the front lot 5 train now. And we're going to have the best momentum because obviously we haven't had to slow down. Sainz is now 5 seconds behind us. He was right up our rear end, but now it's lap 16. Lap 17. We've got 2 laps to go. Dive down the inside of Sebastian Vettel. Up, he tries to close the door on us, but the hand of frustration comes out, and we've moved up into another position, up into P7. Yes, Vettel did try to close the door, but it was far too late, and you can see the damage that he's inflicted. And then on Gasly, a textbook move round the outside of the carousel and up into P6. Gasly, of course, apparently has had some problems again, not for the first time in his career. He's going to come back at us out of the carousel, and Vettel though is going to be optimistic at the end of the first sector and dive it down the inside. Vettel locks up and there's contact with Gasly, and Gasly's lost a bit of his front wing, and now Gasly is trailing round so slow that he's actually going to be overtaken by George Russell and finish outside of the points, which is bad. But Max Verstappen comes through the final corner to be the first Dutchman in a while to win his home Grand Prix in this series as well. 3 in a row for Verstappen. Is that a championship on the horizon for him? We'll have to wait and see. For us though, a very good P6. Definitely helped by the safety car as well. I thought also that our tyres were... Vettel the right call to go on the mediums, because I think the softs would have gone off for us. Obviously, I don't suffer the same tyre overheating than we do. But yes, top 5, finished in the top 5. Leclerc ahead of Bottas. So Bottas needs to come back. Obviously, he's the reigning world champion as well. Vettel only managed 7th. Magnussen as well, and George Russell gets Alfa Romeo's first points of the season. De Vries having a good season as well. He's continuing that form. Now he's moved out the shadow of Max Verstappen as well. So we're down to P6 though, but it's only 10 points between ourselves and the 3rd place. So I don't think we can challenge for top 4. The car's just not there. Magnussen, I think we can try and challenge him. He's only 3 points ahead of us as well. Leclerc, there's also a big gap between Leclerc and Vettel, who've got more points there. And obviously we're miles ahead of our teammate, who's only picked up 1 solitary point and now has had 2 DNFs, and is down to 14th in this career mode. But we P5. I don't know if that's a glitch. I can't remember if we were P4 or P6. I think we're in P6, so we've moved up to 1 position in the constructors to P4, P5. But I don't think we can. Whether we can challenge Ferrari or not, that's going to be remain to see. It depends how quickly we can upgrade the car. McLaren, I think we definitely can. It looks like that their race pace is definitely not as good as their qualifying pace.
Amazing performance out there. I'm sure you're pretty happy with that. Did you feel comfortable in the wet weather today?
Wet weather poses no. Life wouldn't be fun without a bit of a wet to dry action.
A few times. Were you struggling for grip?
Oh, that's going to be a no comment for that question. Oh, it's the hat trick of sighing. Yes, 3 episodes in a row now we've had Claire Citus, so that's the hat trick. We'll see if we can keep this little mini streak of Claire sighing. I mean, to be honest, if this was in real life, I would not talk to her. If let's say David Coulthard came up to you, interview you, and then sighed at you at the end, then you'd probably not talk to him again. But yes, the next upgrade on the car will be this ultimate engine power upgrade, because we only need 100 more resource points, which we'll obtain between now and the Monaco Grand Prix. So we're going to put those 2 on. The 2 minor upgrades are coming in a future season as well, so that's going to be the last. I don't think we've got enough on the Sashi side now, so McLaren has sort of gone a little bit ahead of us on the aero side. McLaren are definitely going to be the team to beat this season, I feel. So we're going to probably focus on those 2 major aero upgrades and sort of start to unlock the aero side of the tree again. And then after that there's a load of minor upgrades. So if we can do that, then we can start to go through, because the minors obviously in driver career mode, the minors are 1,000, the majors are 2,000, and the ultimates are 3,000 R&D points. So yes, if you have enjoyed this video, then leave a like, subscribe to the channel for your news, see more episodes of the F1 2020 driver career mode as and when they come out every Monday on the channel. Until the next video, I'll see you next time. Take care, thanks so much for watching, enjoy your day, and goodbye.